Hey, deserving listeners, Netflix, The Ultimatum. Let's watch.
You have to be willing to be pushed and open and vulnerable. I have a lot of shit that I need to work on, and I enjoy my space, and I enjoy not having to be super vulnerable, and I enjoy not having to open up all the time, and I enjoy like not being pushed.
More data supporting the hypothesis that he is more extroverted, she's more introverted. He is more expressive and more comfortable in intense emotional outward displays, and wants that from his partner. She is not. Now, there are two different possibilities for Ray. One is that it's just her disposition, it's just how she's oriented, and it's a part of her personality, and it's not a product of an issue. The other possibility is that it's a product of an issue, in that she dispositionally actually wants to be more expressive, maybe not as expressive as Zay, but due to past experiences, learned she can't trust people, and thus is more reserved because she's scared, because she assumes things are going to go bad. So just because someone comes across as introverted doesn't mean that they actually dispositionally are introverted. It could just be that with some therapy, with some help, they might become more, not necessarily extroverted, but less overly introverted, if that makes sense. Now, and I've said before as well that just because they have this difference doesn't mean they can't work together. They just have to be able to interpret things. Like, for often the Zays of the world, he is looking for overt display of emotion and maybe even neediness, like mutual dependence. And that can really be bonding. And when she is quiet and reserved, he might interpret that as she doesn't love me, or she doesn't care, or I just said a bunch of things to her and she's not even responding to that, so she's a bad person. And often that's not the case. Sometimes it is, but it often isn't. I don't think it is in this situation. And so the Zays of the world have to interpret things. It's like love language talk, essentially, that for some introverts, they will express deep, deep love and affection and loyalty and dedication to their partners in these indirect ways, nonverbal ways, shall we say. Or when they do say something, it's very occasional, and it's a big deal that they even said anything. Now, the Rays of the world would have to look at the Zays of the world and say, boy, does he talk a lot. Boy, does he kind of push me to answer questions. And it feels like he doesn't care about my feelings. It feels like he's just dominating the situation, like he doesn't care about my boundaries or something. And often that's not the case, that it's their way of actually trying to reach you because they love you, and you're just not used to it, and it's not really your preference. And so you have to see it as, oh, this is actually him expressing his love for me. By getting animated and talking intensely, that's him actually saying he loves me, or he trusts me enough to express that, or something. That's not how I naturally interpret it, but I have to see it that way because I think that's how it is. So let's see how they do.
I just don't think that I need to be engaged right now. So I just don't think I'm ready for an engagement right now.
All right, so I'm forgetting who gave the ultimatum with these two. So Ray actually gave the ultimatum. She said that she had planned her life in a way that made sense, that she would get married soon, and Zay was saying that he wasn't necessarily ready. He just said he was ready now after going through the experience, and now she has changed her mind and says that she's not ready. Okay, so let's see how they manage this. Now, if Ray wants to be with Zay, she's just like, look, I don't want to get married soon, but I do want to be with you. Then that would be an important thing to say in this moment, because otherwise Zay might interpret this as an initial phase of a breakup. So let's see what happens.
I don't think they're ready for an engagement, but I'm still trying with you at the relationship. That's me being honest and open.
Okay, so why don't you think that we are ready for engagement? Like, what are, like, because it has to be...
Because we have not been happy.
All right, so that question from Zay is typical and fine, but if you're ever in that position, you want to think about your intent. If you're just kind of curious and you just want to know their experience and you want to know where they're coming from, then you could ask that question. So what made you change your mind that you don't necessarily want to get married right away like you did before? Whereas if you're asking the question in a combative way, like, why would you not want to get married? Tell me why. It's more of a setup for a fight, that you are getting ready to debate them on the issue. That, of course, is ridiculous, because whether or not someone wants to marry you or not, comes from a lot of factors in someone, and once they tell you one way or the other, they usually have thought about it a lot, and I think she has as well. Plus, you don't want to marry someone. You don't want someone to agree to marry you because you won an argument with them and won a debate with them. If they have the overall notion that they don't want to get engaged right away, it sucks, but you just have to accept that that's where they're at that point.
We're not going to act like I haven't been in this bed trying to communicate the way that you want to be communicated with. I did that. I swear to God. Like, I know. I've been trying.
All right, that's good. So I think he's trying, I think he's intuiting or knows that she's pulling back on the engagement because of her concerns about him being more domineering and overly expressive in some way. I don't know. He is saying, look, I'm trying. I've been working on it. So it's not like I'm not trying. And she says, I know. It's like, okay.
You're on the safe space. I've been trying my hardest to do that.
It doesn't take rocket science to see that we've been struggling. We need to have some good times. That's all I'm saying, is that it's just been a struggle.
You said that. Fuck that. Because if we're in this bed and we're having sex or whatever the fucking case is, that shit is not fun to you.
Ugh. Okay. So is this what Ray's been? Because I've been watching Zay and for the most part seeing someone that is reasonable and healthy, from my memory anyway. But of course, we only see a snippet, and I have my own lens that I see things through. But in this moment, she said something very reasonable, that they've been fighting a lot lately, and she's like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that maybe we should be careful. And she says something that I think would help him. She's saying, look, I just need a little bit more time because I have some concerns, but essentially implying that if things go well over the next number of months, then yeah, absolutely. But I just want to take a break on that question. But he doesn't either hear that or, I don't know, respect it. And then he starts to get aggressive in his language. So let's rewatch that, because it was an interesting, and I think what's happening for Zay is he's essentially being rejected right now. He was vulnerable and said, I'm ready to get married. And she's like, well, actually, I don't know if I want to get married. It's going to hurt. And instead of staying in that hurt place and expressing that and noticing that and taking care of that, he is now escalating, and he's triggered, and he's getting aggressive and angry. Not aggressive physically, of course, but, in his domineering, over-talking. Let's rewind that.
We need to have some good times. That's all I'm saying, is that it's just been a struggle.
You said that. Fuck that. Because if we're in this bed and we're having sex or whatever the fucking case is, that shit is not fun to you. Don't act like it's fun. Don't laugh and joke.
But we need a lot more of that. Shit. I'm just telling you, I literally don't have the energy for this. I'm trying.
Yeah, she's continuing to say that, which is good. She's not escalating the conflict. She's saying, I'm just saying we just need some more time. Maybe that will help him to feel less. I think he's misinterpreting this as her rejecting him outright. Now, I wonder if for Zay, it would help if Ray were more extroverted, more expressive, and she could say, Zay, listen to me. I'm not rejecting you. All I'm saying is, I wonder if her lack of eye contact and subdued nature feels like distancing to him,
Mm-hmm.
and that continues to kind of trigger him, I would imagine that could be possible.
And I'm so fucking like tapped out. I can't. I'm doing my best, but I'm like, today, I'm at the end of my rope. Like, I can't do this anymore today.
And a lot of introverts, and I don't know if she would identify as introverted, but a lot of introverts will, in fights, have moments like this where they're just like, I can't do this anymore. And if you're with someone that isn't introverted, or especially an extrovert, it will feel to the extrovert very hurtful. And so both people are just processing things in different ways. The extrovert is like, there's a problem, let's talk about it. And the introvert is like, there's a problem, let me think about it. And for the extrovert, it's like, if you're not going to talk about it, it means you don't love me. And for the introvert, it's like, if you're not going to let me think about it, it means you don't love me. And so I wonder if that's what's happening right now.
Why are you not ready for that? Let me know the different situations why you feel that way, because I want that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, good. So I think he reined it in, and now he's coming in for some physical affection, which is a great way to help relax and feel connected in spite of having a tense discussion.
I really do. I really want this for me and for you, if you want it, because I do love you. I do.
He's doing a lot of work here, and she's not even... Now, does she want to leave him? Now, is she hurt? I'm guessing she must be hurt, secretly hurt by the way he was talking, and she's communicating that passive-aggressively by not... Because he did a really, I think, functional thing of, like, essentially, let's hug, and she's not even reacting to that, resisting that, which is her right, of course. But if you're trying to, I don't know. So I just have to guess she has some hidden hostility and anger and hurt that I would surmise was what I was saying earlier. Hopefully she can, now she doesn't have to hug him, but if she wants things to go well and she doesn't want to hurt him, there hopefully will be some kind of something here.
I want to be with you. And I think sometimes I love you so much that I do want to change everything about me to be with you.
I need some like medicine or something. Like I don't know what is going on with me.
Okay, so if she's actually having a medical situation, I guess that would hinder one's openness to hugging someone. So maybe that's what's going on, is she's having a GI problem or a headache or something.
My nose is like dripping. I have to shower and take medicine and lay down. That just has to happen.
Yeah, well, on the scale of things, that wasn't incredibly problematic or destructive. So I would say that was, for the cast members on the show, kind of in the middle. And Zay was being unfair, but then reined it in and was being kind. Essentially, Ray the entire time was shut down, not entirely. Maybe the medical issue was part of the problem. Let's see if we find out.
I wake up around 4, he's still not home, so I call him 4 times and he doesn't answer. I send him a text and it goes green and his location's off, so I'm like, fuck. He has never done that to me before. I think that they intentionally stayed out until 8 in the morning. I think he wanted to hurt my feelings.
After they had, I think, their conversation that we saw on camera, where she was sick, but also saying she wasn't sure if she wanted to get married, at least not now, and he was hurt by that, then he reached out to her to hug her, and she either was too sick to hug or was hurt and angry and didn't want to hug, I don't know. And he decided he wanted to go out with his friends, and she was saying, could you just lay down with me? I don't want you to go out right now. And he ignored her and went out with his friends, went drinking with his friends, and they have an agreement where they share location on their phones, which I do with my wife as well. It can be very convenient to, it's like, wait, where is she? And so there's that. But he turned off his share location, and she said usually he'll come home at 2, but he didn't. He's coming home at 8. And she's saying, I think this is his way of trying to communicate that he's upset at me. I think he intentionally came home late. And that is a good possibility. People will do that. This is a passive aggression. It's a hostile act towards your partner, and you're trying to express your hurt and your pain by hurting the other person in a very indirect way or a mildly indirect way. So let's see. Now, what he's saying is, I'm hurt and I just needed to get out of the house. Okay. Tell your partner, I'm sorry, I'm hurt. I need to get out of the house. So I'm going to go, he could say, I'm probably not going to come home till tomorrow morning. I'm not going to do anything with anyone. I'm just going to spend the night at my friend's place. I just need to take a break. That's okay. If you want a break, okay. But communicate to your partner. It's not fair to just disappear like that. And it could be so hurtful and received as so hurtful and concerning that it'll backfire, and your partner might be overly hurt and overly upset and break up with you.
I think he should have just texted me back and let me know where he was at. If he had gone out and gotten like shit-faced and came home at like 2 or 3 after the bars closed, I actually would have been completely fine with it.
What do you mean, what did you do? What did I do? Do you know what time it is?
She's upset, and he says, what did I do? As if, now maybe for him, he's like, I've stayed out till 8 a.m. in the morning before. I doubt that. And he's acting like he doesn't understand, and she's getting frustrated. So I don't know how this is going to go. Now, I do believe in this couple to be able to communicate and take care of each other, because they've exhibited that before. So I could see this going well. Let's see how they do.
I understand, like, I was out all night, I was wrong, whatever. But, like, what do you expect when I'm getting shut out? I don't know, it is what it is, I guess.
He's saying it was wrong, so it's good that he could acknowledge that. But then he says, well, what am I supposed to do? I was getting shut out. It's not a good sign, Zay. Yeah, you were hurt. And if you needed a break, and she even said, I don't know if I showed this clip, that it would have been totally fine if you went out with your friends, got drunk, came home at 2 or 3 in the morning. That's okay. That's where you're at. You needed to get out of the house, clear your head, numb out. And she's okay with that. But to say that, well, when you hurt my feelings, I'm going to disappear. And I'm not going to care about your feelings. I'm not even going to text you back. I'm going to turn off my location sharing with you. Those are, purposeful, hurtful acts. And so 2 wrongs don't make a right. Plus, I don't think she purposely hurt your feelings. She was just saying, I have some concerns, and so I need some more time before I commit to getting engaged. So she wasn't trying to hurt you. She was just saying where she's at. It's concerning that he would think that was all justified.
I'm serious. No, leave me the fuck alone. I'm serious. I'm not doing that. You're serious? Yeah.
I can't even talk to the person that, I love and care about. Who am I supposed to talk to? What am I supposed to do?
So then we see him following her around and trying to engage with her while not really admitting what he did was wrong to her. He's able to admit it in the hallway later, I think. And then she is saying, I can't do this right now. So now we're returning to that dynamic pursuer distancer, or extrovert introvert, or addresser avoider, or dominant escapist sort of dynamic. And she's saying, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Just stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
Really?
Stop. You smell like fucking liquor. You're disgusting. Like, get off me. Yeah, you're disgusting. I'm not.
All right. So she's saying, I think I want to break up with you. She's saying, get off of me. Yeah. If someone says, stop touching me, stop touching them. Even if you think, well, I'm trying to make up. No, someone says stop, stop.
Hugging you anymore, and I'm done. Say stop.
I walked out, and then he tried to keep me from walking out.
Stop.
No, 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 no. Now, maybe this will resolve itself, but no, no, no. Never prevent someone from leaving the room or going where they want to go, particularly in a situation like this. Not okay. And that is highly concerning that she's wanting to leave and saying, get out of my way, let me go, don't touch me. She has said it multiple times, and he's escalating the restraint. Not okay. Not okay.
He's like trying to like grab my arm and like push me back into the room.
I don't want to talk to you. Let go. You let go.
Wow, I'm guessing this is triggering to a lot of y'all to watch this if you've been in an abusive relationship. I don't know the pattern between Zay and Ray, or Zay and his whole life, but this instance is very, very concerning in this moment. And if Zay feels like this is okay, or has he done it before? Now, we could maybe hear a story and believe that he's never been physically abusive to anyone in his life. He's never hit anyone, but you don't have to hit someone to be abusive. Now, there's a small chance that she feels safe enough to push back, but it doesn't look that way to me. Like, and honestly, if I were Ray and someone was doing this to me, like, I would flip. If I was like saying, stop touching me and get off of me and let me walk out, and you were, and it's happened to me before, actually. So I can attest to, so let me talk about that for a second. So when, not only is it very concerning and domineering and makes you feel trapped, which isn't a good feeling, but another message that is sent when someone is willing to do that is, what else are they willing to do? If they're willing to do that, because that's crossing a line. That's crossing a line. If they're willing to cross that line, what else are they capable of? It is terrifying. If you've ever been a victim of this behavior, you probably know what I'm talking about, where the individual never actually hit you or never actually did something that was obviously criminal or concern or even abusive, and this is considered abusive, by the way, to do that sort of thing. The message, the control, the coercive message, the emotional message that can be sent in a situation like this is, I'm willing to go this far. If you piss me off, who knows how far I'm willing to go. In fact, there's no limit to how far I'm going to go. That's a message that sometimes the individual wants to send. And I guess given the way that Zay and Ray have talked about their dynamic, about him being very talkative, and they didn't use the word domineering, but words in that direction, this worries me that this is part of an overall issue for Zay. But I don't know. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's able to be vulnerable. He's able to communicate in a healthy way. He is caring and empathetic. But that doesn't mean that he isn't prone to a pattern like this. So let's watch out.
No, because when I tell you to hit you, you're gonna get that. Get off me. Say, get off!
Yeah. Wow. Screaming, I'm going to hit you if you, and you're going to get upset if I hit you. So that implies they've done that before. And then, I don't know, we've been down this road before with these two. She was, 30 different instances of get off me, stop touching me, leave me alone, let me leave the room. And last time I hit you and then you got really angry at me, remember that? Yikes. And it's so interesting that they have these, cameras in the corner of their home that just film them 24/7 in bed, in the bathroom maybe, I don't know. But we would not have seen this scene otherwise, right? And maybe Zay even knows, like, well, I can't do that on camera. I don't know, but yikes, that is, that's upsetting. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.